I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Wednesday, March the 11th, brought to you by Zactran. We had a recoil on Tuesday, and those of us that were on the wrong side of the board on Monday got healed up. Things bounced right back. It just makes you think it's probably just going to be a continued up and down in this volatile market with all the uncertainty and everything. Stock market was back up big on Tuesday, but the losers keep being bigger than the gainers in most cases. But we'll take the recoils and be glad to get them, because it's kind of holding things together a little bit. But I tell you what, it's a scary market out there, and some of your technical people are starting to see some things in this that maybe think that we're gonna jump out of this soon, and perhaps maybe gather ourselves back up and hold the market a little bit. But I'm glad they can see it in those charts, because it's just hard to see out on the surface with all the uncertainty and new news stories coming out every day. They're canceling ball games, they're canceling debates, they're canceling things where people are gathering together, and it continues to bring actually more fear out than it does making people feel more confident about anything. But sitting here at Murphy's Historic Hotel in Calaveras County, California, I forgot my jumping frog, and so I'm going to miss out on that deal. But got a meeting here with some producers up here in Northern California. Looking forward to that. And this is kind of a happening place that I've never been to, or probably didn't know was here. But if you guys get to come to it, it's a pretty unique place to be. But let's look at the board on Tuesday. April live cattle futures up $2.60 at 105.45. June up $2.42 at 99.52. All the rest of the traded months were up $1 to $2. March feeder cattle up $1.55 at 127.75. April up $2.40 at 127.95. And all the rest of your traded feeder cattle months were up near $2.50 to higher, and they were up as much as $5 on some of the months earlier in the trading session, but could not quite seem to hold that. But we'll take the nice gains anyway on the expanded limits, and we were able to hold it from being too much lower. But fat cattle trade was pretty much non-existent on Tuesday. The guys that were willing to cave at the 175 bids that were still out there in the northern feedlot areas, they thought, after the board was up nearly the limit, $3 on live cattle, that wasn't quite the basis that they were looking at. And just like they jumped at the basis on Monday, they resisted it on Tuesday. And actually, it's funny how higher live cattle futures will limit trade, but that's what happened. But we did see, like I said, the 175 bids in the north, did hear some 108 bids in the southern plains, but that didn't trip anything. I actually heard of a string of pretty nice black heifers that sold in eastern Iowa and $112 delivered, so that wouldn't be the absolute worst. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market, your real-time index on DV Auction. Late in the day on Tuesday at 132.60, still down 39 cents because we're losing some higher prices off the other end of the 7-day moving average. But one thing that kind of gives you confidence is your steer tracker, which is your latest sales of bigger bunches in the last 24 hours. It was at 134.25 for the same weight, so actually higher than the index. So that leads you to believe that it should continue a little bit higher on Wednesday as we work into some of our big Wednesday sales. But let's look at some big sales that we had on Tuesday. Winter livestock, La Junta, Colorado, big sale for them. Over 5,000 head and a good run. And you look at these big strings that were running through the sale there in La Junta, Colorado. That's the ugly side of Colorado out on the eastern side. But I can't help but think that the manager there, John Campbell, was using his own pocket money to pour on the long side of the board to try to get it up to help that sale and help all of his customers there, and he did a great job of helping do that. We appreciate that. But the best string that I saw here on these that were quoted, and he had lots more strings, but it's all I could fit on the screen, was 116 steer calves, weighed 614 at 165.25. Some other big sales, Unionville Livestock Market, Unionville, Missouri, that's north central Missouri, extreme up there, had 2 loads of those Rockin' R cattle from Lucerne, Missouri, weighed 946 at 120.60, and that's a pretty good price on some cattle that are that heavy, need to go on feed pretty quick, and won't be that far from the knife. Some other big quotes. How about Kimball Livestock Exchange? This is a good test of northern feeder cattle up there, big calves. 330 head in one whack, weighed 780 pounds at $145 in Kimball, South Dakota. Now on some light peewee calves. Imperial, Nebraska, at the Imperial Auction Market, there are 68 head of 334 pound little peewee steer calves, bring $243, so that's pretty optimistic. That'd be $812 per head for those little rascals. But the best quote that I saw, and really has more to do with where it was at and than anything, but Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma, 100 head, 430 pound steer calves, little stockers, at $201. And that's your feeder flash for Wednesday.